Welcome, rulers of the Matrix. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how I manifested my ex-husband to come back to me after I had moved out and after I had manifested a woman for him because I wanted him to move on and be happy. Yes, I consciously chose to manifest a third party. So this will be a longer video. It is really easy to manifest an ex, or if you are still married to your husband or wife, to be choosing you and loving you. Okay, here we go. I decided to separate from my husband after a year of living together as roommates, basically. He hadn't kissed me and wasn't intimate with me for over a year. I decided I was done. I didn't want to live like that anymore. A year in our separation, I learned about the law of attraction and later learned law of assumption. I started consciously manifesting all kinds of things into my life. I manifested the perfect apartment location right behind where he lives to be close to my son. I manifested him a new woman, my ex-husband that is, because I wanted him to be happy. I didn't spend much time on it. Just whenever I thought about him, I would affirm he's so happy with his new friend. They are perfect for each other. However, things went south one day when I saw her text him and she was talking about me. So yeah, I opened his phone to see what she could possibly be saying about me when she doesn't know me. It turns out he was using our past to win her over and make her feel soft for him. I didn't appreciate him telling her private things, so we got into an argument. I decided to manifest her away because I didn't want a woman who could say such things about me, not even knowing me, and wanting me to leave the country when him and I have a teenage son we were taking care of. I wanted to fix the situation, and so I called him home from work to talk about giving us a second chance. He was totally against it. He told me no 7 times and said he wasn't in love with me. As he is telling me all these things, I decided to go into the next room and I started affirming. For 15 minutes, I was ranting in my head with every logical reason I could think of for why he said yes. I used affirmations like, I am still his wife. He wants to make us work. He wants to really try. His parents love me. They want us to work out. He remembers all the love he has for me. I am the best he has ever had. With logical reasons, my mind wouldn't fight or argue with me, so it was easy for me to believe I was going to get what I want. Although I didn't have to believe, it did help. After 15 minutes, he came in and said, okay, let's try again. But the hard part wasn't over. He was mad at me because he had to let her go, and they had a deep connection, which is something we never had. So he wanted space. He wouldn't hug me, and he didn't want to be around me. I was not about to wait for him to get over her, so I started affirming. And the times he would ask me to leave because he wanted to be alone, when he would ignore me and turn his back when sleeping, I would affirm. I gave him his space and just affirmed, even though it was not easy to ignore what was happening in front of me. I affirmed he was holding me, and I visualized, and I tried to feel him holding me as we fell asleep each night. I affirm he couldn't keep his hands off me. We have so much fun together and we laugh a lot. We are best friends. He loves to cuddle me. He is so deep in love with me. I even affirmed for me to be deeply in love with him and that we work out everything easily. We love being together, and I really did my best to make our marriage better than ever before. After about a week and a half of nothing, he started to reflect my affirmations back to me. He fell back in love with me, he spoiled me, and we were happy and comfortable together. But I don't want to mislead you. This is just a story time of how I manifested him back, even with a third party, even with him not being in love with me and us not living together at the time. We still decided to divorce, because even though we had finally gotten through all our issues and enjoyed our marriage how it was meant to be enjoyed, the love between us was never deep and we weren't connected. I need someone to connect with on a spiritual and mental level, whereas his and my relationship was just physical, emotional, because at the time we got married, that's what we thought love was. Good conversation and feeling emotional for one another. We are still best friends and we appreciate each other and we get along great. So to sum this message up, If you are manifesting your husband to choose you or your wife, love you, get rid of a third party, just stick to your affirmations and try to visualize or hear them talking to you, or hear yourself talking to a parent or a friend about your partner and how they are with you. Figure out how you manifest and stick with it. Stop watching a ton of law of assumption videos on how to manifest or what to do and what to say if you are, because the best teacher is you. Get to know how you manifest and what works for you and stick with it. Don't switch up to scripting if you're not a scripter. If you can't visualize, then start practicing. If you have a wandering mind, then gain control of it and redirecting it. Stop accepting excuses about what you think you can't do. You can do it. It is just practicing it. Just like having faith, confidence, being and feeling successful, and being abundant, it all takes practice. An affirmation that helped me through it all is, imagination is the only reality. That is the affirmation. Imagination is the only reality. This is what helped me to ignore the 3D and live, think, and feel as if I already had it, as if it was already happening right in the now. I had to have a childlike mind to convince myself that I already had it. Jesus said, "Unless you turn and become like children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven." The kingdom of heaven is within you, your human imagination, where you can have anything you want right now. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you're interested in another story time of how I manifested my husband 9 years ago when I didn't know about manifestation, let me know in the comments, because that is a very specific manifestation that I never believed would happen, and it did. The list of things I wanted were crazy, and they all came true. And again, this was when I didn't know about manifestation. I wasn't spiritual. I was very asleep in the matrix. I didn't believe really in anything. I only had maybe sometimes belief in prayer, but that's how I did it, was through prayer. It took about a year. So if you're interested in that story time, let me know in the comments. If you have any more questions about this story, let me know in the comments and I'll come out with another video. But just to remind you all that we did get divorced, but we're still really great friends. He just wasn't, I guess you could say, my true love, but I love him very much as a friend, and he's an amazing father. So thank you for watching, and see you next time.